Welcome to another episode of Security 101. This week we're going to talk about ransomware. So you may be saying, what's ransomware? Never heard of that before. Well, a lot of people haven't heard of it, but a lot of people have experienced it. The most common form of ransomware and most popular form to this point has been called fake AV. And if you've never had fake AV, you're very lucky because fake AV is very nasty. What happens with fake AV is you get a pop-up on your screen that says that your antivirus needs to be updated, and you click on it. By clicking on that, you then download what we call fake AV. There are different names for fake AV, but fake AV generally covers the whole family of it. And it installs itself. And what it does is it determines what kind of AV you have. So say you have McAfee. When it installs, it's going to look like McAfee. So you think you're really using McAfee. If you use Trend, it's going to look like you have Trend. If you have Norton Internet Security, it's going to look like Norton Internet Security. They're very sophisticated antivirus programs, or antivirus programs, I should say. So you install it thinking you're really doing something that's right, but they're tricking you into doing it. Once they get on your machine, they install a ton of malware. I can't remember what the last count was. I think it's upwards of like 30 different pieces of malware it downloads in the background. And what it keeps trying to tell you to do is you got to buy this to get your machine uninfected. So what they want you to do is they want you to pay to have your machine uninfected. So you pay this money and supposedly you download this thing and it looks like it's better. But it's only better for a short period of time. It'll start getting infected again. And then it's going to start telling you have to pay yet again. And you pay again to get it uninfected. So it basically keeps you in this loop. I've recently heard somebody paid 3 times to have their machine cleaned, and it actually got to the point where the people with the malware were calling them saying, look, we can take care of it for you for a certain amount of money, and they were claiming to be Yahoo, but they weren't Yahoo. They were these scammers trying to get money. And he did it 3 times in a row before somebody said, look, you're being scammed. So that's what ransomware is. Fake AV is very hard to get off. I actually recommend if you have a good backup to reimage your machine at that point, because you don't know what's left on the machine. Now, recently, that was fake AV, which really the machine doesn't stop working, but it's annoying. You can't almost use your machine because pop-ups come up constantly popping on the screen to get you to go buy this ransomware that doesn't really do anything other than wait for a little while to infect you. But even if you get it off in the background, it's still it's logging your keystrokes, seeing where you're going. It's doing all kinds of nasty things in the background. So even if you think it's not there, it's still really there. That's why I say it's best to reimage the machine. Now, ransomware recently has gotten much worse because now there's software out there that when you install it, I haven't seen it, but basically what it does is it encrypts your drive so that you can't see your data. And if you want your data, you have to pay them to unencrypt it so you can get it back. So that's what we call it ransomware. They're holding your data at ransom for money. And there's no way that I know of yet to undo their encryption because it's encrypted using only their key information. So the only way you can get it back is to pay them. However, you should not be paying them because they're going to do it again to you. They're just going to keep doing it over and over again and keep getting money out of you. So the safest thing to do is always keep a good backup. I've never stressed this before very much, but backup. There's a bunch of software out there that you can put on your machine. They'll back it up every day for you. Things like Carbonite, and they're not that expensive. $60 a year, that's nothing if you start losing your data. But I want to explain ransomware because it's becoming rampant now all of a sudden. Fake AV's been around for a while. Every year it seems like a new version of fake AV comes out, and every year when it comes out, it's more and more detailed and more ruthless. This last one that came out, it would actually disable your AV when it's installed. So your antivirus would get turned off by the malware. So they're getting very, very sophisticated in what they can do. And it's like every year, like a new version comes out, like any other software, they come out with a new one. And it's very hard to keep up with. But the ransomware is becoming very prominent now as well. And if you need to protect your data, definitely do backups, because otherwise you're going to be paying somebody to get data back, and people you're paying are going to do it again to you. So it's best that you don't do that. That's it for Security 101 this week. Come back next week and we're going to talk about Android security. If you know somebody that has an Android phone, or you have an Android phone or a tablet, it's just an important one because Android is becoming the most popular operating system out there, and there's tons of malware, and there's some easy things you can do to protect yourself on Android as well. So we'll see you next week.